नमस्ते। स्वागत करना चाहूंगा आपका आज के पॉडकास्ट में। दोस्तों, अक्सर कहा जाता है कि दो लोगों के रिश्ते में अगर किसी तीसरे की दखल हो जाए तो कहीं ना कहीं उन रिश्तों में खटास आ जाती है। ऐसे ही कुछ देखने को मिलता है अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर भारत और रशिया के रिलेशंस पे, जहाँ कभी यूएस तो कभी चाइना अपनी अपनी जगह बनाने की कोशिश करते रहते हैं। वैसे तो इंडिया और रशिया की दोस्ती की मिसालें पूरी दुनिया देती है, मगर पिछले कुछ समय में हमें कुछ दूरियां भी नजर आती दिख रही है। कहा जाता है कि टाइम के साथ साथ सब कुछ ठीक हो जाता है, और इन दोनों ने कभी भी अपने कूटनीतिक रिश्तों में किसी तीसरे को नहीं आने दिया, ना ही किसी तरह का मन मुटाव आने दिया। यूं तो रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर में सारी दुनिया रशिया के खिलाफ थी, मगर उसका सबसे पुराना दोस्त साइलेंटली उसके साथ खड़ा था। बीते कुछ समय में रशिया और चाइना की बढ़ती नजदीकियां पूरी दुनिया का ध्यान तो अपनी तरफ खींची नहीं है। इसी बीच भारत के विदेश मंत्री श्री एस जयशंकर जी का रशिया जा पहुंचना और वहां रिश्तों की किताब में एक नया पन्ना पलट देना भी कुछ सोचने वाली बात है। यूं तो पिछले कुछ 2 साल में चल रहे ये रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर में भारत ने पूरी न्यूट्रलिटी मेंटेन करके रखी है। रशिया के साथ हमारे ट्रेड भी काफी अच्छा चल रहा है। इस परिस्थिति में भारत के विदेश मंत्री का मॉस्को जा पहुंच जाना, और क्यों ना इसका जो पूरा ग्लोबल इफेक्ट है उनके इस विजिट का, ये क्या हो सकता है, क्या क्या बदला बदला नजर आ रहा है हमारे रिश्तों में। हम आज ऐसे ही कुछ सवालों के जवाब लेना चाहेंगे हमारी आज के गेस्ट के साथ। तो मैं स्वागत करना चाहूंगा मिस फातिमा रिफा जी का। ये केरला एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी से बीएससी एग्रीकल्चर ग्रेजुएट है। साथ ही साथ इन्होंने अपनी मास्टर्स इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस एंड एरिया स्टडीज में जामिया मिलिया इस्लामिया से करी है। इन्होंने कैलिकट से करंट लोकसभा मेंबर श्री एम के रघुवन जी के अंडर इंटर्नशिप भी करी है। साथ ही साथ एशिया यूथ इंटरनेशनल एमयूएन जो कि मलेशिया में हुआ था, वहां पर इन्हें मोस्ट आउटस्टैंडिंग डेलीगेट के अवार्ड से भी नवाजा गया। फातिमा जी, मैं आपको बहुत बहुत स्वागत करना चाहूंगा हमारे आज के पॉडकास्ट में।
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was really a good introduction.
अच्छा, हाँ, तो मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे ये है, डिस्पाइट द पॉलिटिकल कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज, इंडिया ने अपने एनर्जी इंपोर्ट्स को मेंटेन करके रखा है, जारी रखा है रशिया के साथ। तो क्या ये सस्टेनेबल स्ट्रेटेजी है लॉन्ग रन में?
See, the Indian imports from Russia, the Indian imports from Russia, despite the recent hikes, account for only a fraction of energy exports from Russia. Given the European imports of oil from Russia, although there is only a marginal fall in these imports, but still it's very relevant or very bulk exports from Russia, which means Europe is still exporting a very bulk, like Europe is still importing a very bulk of Russian oil. So also the thing is India's actions in sourcing the Russian oil is basically refining this oil and exporting this to other buyers across the world, which even includes Europe. So in conclusion, everything ends in Europe only. So thing is also, according to Indian economy, our energy use is very burgeoning, right? And our processing industry is very burgeoning. So we have to find different sources of oil. We can't only depend on Middle East or Arabian countries, and we have to find different sources of oil to like sustain this supply sustainability. So also in terms of economic question, case of economic question, we have to think that Russian oil is way cheaper when we calculate this long distance freight charges, so that finally the balance sheet of India will definitely be on the beneficial side for India. So given the question is that despite the political complexities, India has already taken a very equivocal, like very clear stand on Russia-Ukraine conflict, that India is definitely looking for a peaceful solution to the conflict. India doesn't want to bring this economic situation like importing these Russian oil and balancing this India's economic calculus and all, doesn't want to bring into these geopolitical context. So India is trying to keep both these on two different poles. So whatever the thing is, actually, India is looking for energy sustainability within its domestic use itself. India wants to be energy sufficient only. So India is looking for that also. India just find another source of energy, cheaper energy, that is Russian oil, which already has freed some of the Arab buyers also, because Arabian oil is definitely in high demand. So India eyeing on Russian oil definitely has created some kind of a frisk in Arab demand for oil. So that means easing the buying of Arab oil also. So finally, India is trying to keep both these two poles apart. India is saying that we are getting cheaper Russian oil, so it's fine. We are buying it, refining it, exporting it to the same European countries who have been blaming India for importing Russian oil. So they do not want to mix up these two concepts, these political complexities plus this continued energy imports from Russia. So that's my take on that.
How do you see the difference in the India's approach towards Israel's war and Russia's war?
Definitely, India is taking a different stance on this Israeli conflict and this Russo-Ukraine conflict. See, India, from New Delhi's side, India is saying Israeli conflict as an all-out war against terrorism. India is definitely a staunch supporter of human rights and very active in this humanitarian crisis. But in Palestine, India has not particularly moved its diplomatic stance against this diplomatic concept. So India has been covertly supporting Israel, definitely, because what India has been saying that Palestine, which has been supported by Hamas, is a terrorist organization, is a designated terrorist organization. So India doesn't want to align itself with an organization like a terrorist organization, because definitely India has been troubled by terrorist activities in the past. But this is the situation right now. But when we consider about the past, like since independence, India has been a consistent supporter of Palestinian cause, like Palestinian self-determination and statehood. Like India has been very vocal about his solidarity with Palestine, has been very largely supportive, like manifested it through diplomatic efforts. There has been developmental assistance, aids, etc., everything for Palestine, mostly till the NDA government. See, under Narendra Modi government, India has been becoming more closer to Israel, and definitely what we can see right now, India is taking a covert stance towards Israel. See, but we can't be very much critical about this. We have to take a diplomatic stance also towards this, because as the governments change right now, as the governments change, the personal preference, the traits, everything change. The personal trait or the personal preference of the leaders, the political leaders or the heads of the state, depends international politics. See, so the Narendra Modi government is definitely aligned towards the Israeli government right now. So we can't be very much critical about this as this government change. Maybe in the next elections, maybe as the UPA government came, maybe they come, their stance towards Israel changes. So this change with governments also, we have to think about that. And also, one point is that Israel has been a very strategic partner of India in terms of technology, in terms of defense, in terms of agriculture. So, what most of the countries are trying to do now in this realist world, they are trying for self help. Whoever is helping me, I am being with them. So, that is what the stance most of the countries are taking now, be it Middle East. Look at Saudi Arabia. They are not very vocal about Palestinian cause. So, self-help is the way I think India is also taking right now. But definitely India should be very much vocal about this humanitarian cause that Palestine has been struggling for, and they have to take a diplomatic stance, do not leaving this Palestinian India legacy behind. So they have to have a very vocal way about in both these situations, unlike this Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Yeah. Uh, Fatima ji, there are talks in the diplomatic galleries that current relations between India and Russia are based on Soviet legacy. What's your take on this?
Indeed, definitely it's based on Soviet legacy. But as some of the people are criticizing, it is evaporating. See, there has been some subtle changes in Indo-Soviet relations. That means India-Russia relations. So the Soviet legacy started since the Cold War, and especially under Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, which has been very evident in 1971 Indo-Pak War, how Soviet has helped India with this 1971 war, and how Soviet was very helpful to India in terms of defense, infrastructure, and other developments. So this Indo-Soviet legacy, we can see it as a long-standing traditional friendship, or its long-standing strategic friendship, which has been carried out by India till now. But India is focusing on a nuanced recalibration. That means a different approach of these traditional relationship. So, with a new trying to give a new face to this into Soviet legacy. Um, Definitely, India, Russia is becoming closer to China, and indeed, it's causing a problem with for India. So India has to maintain a Indo-Soviet legacy route, or this traditional friendship route, because it needs helps through energy, nuclear, space, etc. Plus this China issue and all. But India is trying to give it a new approach, give it a new face to these long-standing friendships. So I can say Indo-Soviet legacy is still there, which Jaishankar, Dr. Jaishankar had an very recently had a very good meeting with this Soviet leaders, especially the Prime Minister, the President Vladimir Putin, and also definitely India is trying to keep up this Soviet legacy, but trying to give it a new face in this new geopolitical scenario. Not outrightly being respecting this Indo-Soviet legacy, but trying to give it a new face.
या
That's what
तो
my
रिसेंटली
perspective.
हमने ये देखा है कि यूक्रेन बहुत ज्यादा सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर या सॉफ्ट लैंग्वेज यूज करने लग गया है इंडिया के लिए। तो क्या कोई जियोपॉलिटिकल सपोर्ट क्या गेन लेने की कोशिश कर रहा है यूक्रेन?
India can definitely act as a peace broker in this conflict. So, because in the longer run, this conflict is not going to benefit both the sides involved, right? And even the global stakeholders involved. That was very evident in this global food security crisis that happened during this Russia-Ukraine conflict, because Ukraine is definitely the bread basket. So India has the potential to act as a peace broker, and Ukraine knows that. See, so maybe that's why this Ukraine has started acting softly towards India recently. And given the international system, this anarchic international system where the realist system still triumphs or prevails, any peace deal would definitely lead to a smaller area-wise Ukraine. So peace deal means smaller area-wise Ukraine. So, but all the actors in the longer run would definitely benefit from this. So maybe Ukraine has been trying to uh, not to get into a full-fledged peace deal, obviously, because Ukraine would definitely lose a huge amount of area, but wanted a soft supporter to deal with this process in the longer run. And Ukraine Foreign Minister Mr. Kuleba has warned India that India's relations with Russia is definitely on based on Soviet legacy, but it's evaporating, and cautioned Russia's closeness with China. So maybe Ukraine wants to get a soft spot from India in the longer run, not in the shorter run, I guess.
और यार शायद ये भी हो सकता है, रिसेंटली आई गेस स्विट्जरलैंड में एक पीस डील होने जा रही है, शायद वहां पे यूक्रेन इंडिया का सपोर्ट एक्सपेक्ट करता है। माय लास्ट क्वेश्चन टू यू फातिमा जी, आर देयर एनी पॉसिबल डिस्टेंसिंग बिटवीन रिलेशंस ऑफ इंडिया एंड रशिया, एंड is these kind of things are a sign of something future in future, like there is a change maybe? Do you think that?
The question that you are asking, that even shows na, from the outside world, like for everyone the viewing this through this perspective, definitely there is a potential distancing between India and Russia. So it all depends on people's perspective. So you ask me this question, definitely, so maybe you'll have this idea, yeah, maybe India and Russia is showing some potential distance because India is getting closer to US. Like India is having multiple defense agreements. India is being having Quad alliance with US, Japan, Australia, and also definitely there is a subtle, like we say, there is a subtle change in this in like India Russia relationship. But on, as I said, there is historical ties remain stronger, and India has been calculating. Like India's strategic calculus has evolved because India is looking for multiple international partners. As I told you, there is a self-help situation right now in the international scenario. So India is looking for multiple international partners. India is aligning with the US. India is looking for technological advancements, which obviously from Russia we can't expect that technological advancements. So India is aligning with Japan. India is aligning with other European nations, US, etc. So India is, on the other hand, concerned with Russia's closeness with China also, especially with defense and strategic ties that Russia and China is carrying. So India definitely wanted a backup or a support from US and other Western nations. So as I told you, there is definitely a potential distancing between India and Russia, but we can see it as a India's self-help situation in the current geopolitical scenario because India has been contained from east and west. We can see that. So India is trying for a self-help strategy, by the way, but India is definitely keeping up a good old, long-standing friendship strategic tie in a renewed fashion with Russia. That's what my perspective on this question is.
Thank you so much, Fatima ji. You have answered all the questions with, so interesting facts and information. And we really hope that we will see you in future also with so many different topics.
Sure. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I hope to collaborate with you more.
Thank